So I think if we're to use one word to sum up this panel, it will be pop-up cities. And I don't think I'm the most qualified actually in sort of the entire pop-up city thesis and experiences, and I wasn't participated in planning a pop-up city, organizing it. I'm hoping for this panel to sort of self-moderate itself a little bit, but I'll open up with something. So Vitalik published an essay on the Palladium, Why I Built Zuzalu, and the basic idea is that there are hacker houses and there are conferences. Right, hacker houses last for a number of weeks for 20 people. Conference lasts for 3 days for 1,000 people. They have goods and they have bads, but maybe something in the middle can provide different kinds of value, and that's what Pop-Up City is. It lasts for 2 months, 3 months, and it's running for 100, 200 people, around that order of magnitude, and that allows for not networking but relationship building. I think that one ideal outcome for a pop-up city is not necessarily you graduate with a new startup idea, not necessarily, but I think the bottom line is you leave a pop-up city making lifelong friends that are aligned on the same similar set of values and wanting to build towards similar sort of direction in the future. I'm just gonna pass.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you. I think it was a wonderful introduction, actually, of what it is. To me, maybe we can take a little step back, of like why is it needed, at least from a more sentimental point of view, maybe. But in a way, most of us here present are nomads. In a way, we travel. We have huge representatives of like nomad community. And sometimes what you miss a little bit is like you get a little bit sad that you get your Sunday not at home, not connected with the people that you know. And it's always beautiful to have the chance to connect again with people that you actually have the same vibe with, or you vibe in the same wavelength. So like, in a way, like in a more of some way that I found to understand pop-up cities is, as nomads that we're all around the world, suddenly we have the chance to come back to a place where with people that we share the culture with, that we share the emotions, that we share the goals that we want to do, and suddenly you are for a month, in the case of Crecimiento, Argentina, you're in a month in our pop-up city, surrounded by people who have the same vibe as you, who want to do the same thing, and suddenly it's impossible that you not build something new. Because you have all the inputs as well. You get all the conferences, you get the workshops and boot camps, and all the stuff going on, and connected with people from all over the world, and you get new ideas. So in a way, that's what the pop-up city, at least to me, and I want to hear my friends here, generates, is that the opportunity to create because you have no excuse not to, pretty much.
Hey guys, this is Sun. I totally agree, and I mean, why should I disagree? But I think something to add on is if you look around the crypto conferences that most people have been to, either ETHDenver or DevCon or whatever, a lot of the conferences you see, there's a very limited presence of the local community. And one magic and beauty of the pop-up city is that it's not about people in blockchain, but it's also like people, the local community people. Like the Moon, we are one of the, I think we are the first pop-up city after the Zuzalu that happened, and it happened in Chiang Mai, in Thailand. And we had a lot of like local partners joining, and then they learn about blockchain, they learn about this new change and so many things. And then we went to Argentina. And then early last year, we went to Argentina. We had more than 70% or 60 to 70% participants, mainly all from Argentina, from Latin America. Only like 20, 30% people coming from other parts of the world. And this kind of attendance is kind of long-term like gathering really gives an opportunity for people in blockchain to understand what are we building for, and to learn about the local challenges, the local things that we can solve, to build new solutions, and to build new connections in friends and everything, of course. But I think this kind of opportunity really gives opens a lot of doors, and also gives a lot of meanings for what you're building. Because to be honest, like most hackathons, people just build for the bounty hunting, or people just for the sake of building. But you have to see what you're doing, and technology at the end of the day serves people, and who are those people they're serving is really something that people need to spend time to connect.
Yeah, and I think the space is still very much in the experimentation phase, where we're still sort of trying to define exactly what the right model is, what the sustainable model is for the pop-up villages. Digital nomads are obviously like very itinerant, and the idea is to leave something permanent. So for like Switzerland, we're doing a 4-week event in May at a very nice ski resort. Please attend if you can. But the ultimate goal is to create a permanent innovation hub, something where companies can be incubated in Switzerland, and ideally we can also ideate on like ways that we can incorporate, Web3 tech, ZK, privacy, blockchain, to help push governance models for the 21st century forward. And what I'm excited about personally with Switzerland in particular is they have like a very strong direct democracy system that's been owned over like 700-800 years. And so I think we have a very unique opportunity to take ideas from the existing governance structure and combine that with some of the cool stuff that we're building as well.
Lovely. I think there are two things that I think we could go into. Feel free to say you have more interesting things and just reject me. One thing is I think sort of this global local contrast, and another thing is permanent versus pop-up. What I noticed is at least 2, if not 3 of you are interested in building permanent setups, not pop-up necessarily. But let's go back to the global local thing because you already covered this. I think blockchains are global systems. The idea is sort of this a system running for humanity where everyone can access, deploy computer programs and interact with other people's programs, and that which values are settled and transacted. Now, that runs in a digital realm. So, but we live in the meat spaces, and so when it comes to problems that involve us in the meat spaces, it gets complicated. So, for example, I think 2 bull cycles ago there were ideas. Hey, can we make a decentralized Uber where you basically reward people in small contract terms that drive you from A to B in the real world? And now, even just a couple weeks ago, I think there was a project sort of giving up on this idea because it was market is not ready. But this really speaks to the complexity of the real world. As you want to ride-hail people from A to B, you surprisingly have to work with taxi drivers who have to work with regulations that differ from local to local geographies. And those are the complexities. And I think Pop-Up City sort of nudges people in this direction. Hey, you guys are sort of migrating from conferences to conferences, sort of going to WeWork and taking Uber rides to hotels and sort of disregarding the local differences, but then once you live in a place for a sufficiently long period of time, you start noticing there's people. So I think maybe we can talk a little bit on sort of the global local contrast here, or if you want to talk about the permanent setup, that's also wonderful.
I mean, I think both areas have been super interesting, so we should definitely touch upon those, and we're not gonna reject any of those. I like they're pretty cool. No, but like thinking on the global versus local thing, this is, in a way, I'm always very obsessed with this, and partly because of my background, there's like the VC side and the venture building side and all the stuff. But I normally like to look at like, why are we doing this? What problem are we solving? No, and many times we get to when we try to tackle global problems straight away, they might be too big to handle. So in a way, I do believe that there is global problems, but we need to tackle local ones. And that approach of the pop-up city, and I think it's related to the hackathons idea, or the ways we're seeing the industry grow technologically as well. Sometimes we need to focus more on the problems that we're trying to fix locally, rather than the whole spectrum of like what is. Ask ourselves, why are we actually doing this more? No. And what use case do we want to get out of it? So when it comes to the pop-up city approach, there is that mix that San was saying before is fascinating. No, it's like we get more of half of the people who join the pop-up city are from the local place, and the other part are nomads or they come from the other side of the world. Meaning that the local people who are going to stay afterwards, they're going to receive a lot of information that they didn't have, or we didn't have in the past, and it's going to actually improve us. No, why London is super cool and there's a lot of innovation going on in London, because 70% of the population is not from London. So I mean, that's actually what makes the most innovative place, or what makes things grow, no? So that beautiful mix in between local providing the actual context and the knowledge of what is this for, and global, of people coming to a place and actually providing new visions to the problems that exist in there. That's probably something that's happened to us in life as well. It's like many people come and be like, Yo, why didn't you think about this? It's probably because I was inside the box. I think it's in computer science. Computer science, they say that, obviously, clearly, I'm not an engineer, and they say that you cannot understand a system from within the box, from within the system. You always need to get out. So I think that pop-up city idea gives that possibility. No, it's like understanding the system from outside the box.
Yeah, for me, to be honest, I forgot the question. I'm sorry. What is the question again?
It's just a contrast between global and local, but you already brought that up. I was riffing off on your.
Okay, yeah. So for me, to be honest, my perspective is pretty simple. Like, what is global? Like, I just feel like there's no sort of thing like global. There's basically like local and non-local, and you guys already gathering in a place to do pop city or conference, whatever. Then why not try to build something permanent? And especially, I think the whole reason why we joined this space is because we want to build something permanent. And like you mentioned, building like a application layer for anything, for blockchain or whatever, that's actually the dirty job. That requires a lot of dirty work. Like, you have to talk to the regular people, like the normies or whatever you like to call them. You have to understand what they're going through and understand people, like how to solve this problem, and then get their feedback, illustrate, and so many things. That's actually quite annoying, to be honest. I've done like startups, and that is a pain in the ass. But sometimes, actually, I really feel like a lot of projects in blockchain really need to have more courage to do that kind of things. I feel a lot of people who are doing the infrastructure are actually like in a very safe zone. What they're tackling is only the technical difficulty, but not the social and human layer, where is the very complex part. And I feel like doing the temporary stuff is simple. It's basically like touching the surface. We have been to like many countries. We just like started like a year and a half or so, but we've been to Argentina, we've been to Thailand twice, we've been to Africa twice, in Ethiopia, in Ghana, and this year we're going to Japan for the World Expo, the World Sphere, for someone who doesn't know, and it's one of the largest events. So it's easy to go to one place to the other, but it's really hard to have something like permanent in a place. And I feel having something permanent in place is actually where you see the change, and also like the lot of like local politics, local history of this and that. And I think everyone should try to build something that lasting. That's actually the fun part, but also not the annoying part. But it'll be interesting, yeah. And I feel like our space is changing, moving from that to a long-term vision kind of side, yeah.
Yeah, I'll draw the line between what works well locally and what works well globally, between the tech and the people. So I think like anything that's built for permanence should be built with the local people in mind, and they should be driving those design decisions. What we can do on the tech side is really just create an interoperable open source layer that anybody can adopt around the world. I think we're not doing amazing in terms of scaling some of our technologies right now. So I'll give you an example. Like, one of our challenges setting up infrastructure for Switzerland was just setting up the booking system. Like, we have very unique requirements in terms of the way people book their stay over the next 4 weeks. And there's existing solutions out there that are built on, ZK privacy tech and with blockchain in mind, but they're not great. You are making a legitimate sacrifice to user experience. So part of it, I think, is just that the tech just isn't there yet. So, we built something custom that takes what we can from crypto, enabling crypto payments, allowing you to connect your wallet, allowing you to use NFTs as sort of like a loyalty thing. But beyond that, like, it's still an open question. I mean, I've had this discussion with other village organizers about, like, what's your tech stack? And they're like, well, we'd use this, wasn't that great. We're going to try something else this year. There's a team called Edge City that's literally building, I think, their own system from scratch. But the idea is that, if we build like a truly global interoperable sort of like layer on the tech side, then that's our biggest contribution we can to sort of like marrying world values.
I think to transition to the pop-up versus permanent, and let's keep this under 3-4 minutes, because I do have one last question for you to talk about your own project a little bit before we wrap up. I didn't go to the original Montenegro Zuzelu event. But from a number of people, I heard that there was a concern that there is this whole bunch of people that are interested in high ideals and frontier technologies and the future of societies, and they sort of airdrop themselves into this city, and they don't necessarily interact with the local context other than their tables getting waited by local people, their food getting served. And there was concern about sort of this weird tension. What are they doing here? What are they actually adding value to the real world? After all, they're talking about the future, and the future is the future involves all the people combined. So I guess maybe from that, the experiment has taken you toward more of the sort of the permanent side of the axis. What do you think?
I totally agree. To be honest, like I feel, to be honest, it's not only about Zuzalo. Like even the majority of the crypto conference is basically the same. I was talking with a Uber driver today, and he was saying that are here for crypto. I was like, how do you know that? He's like, 90% of the people for the past week I've been driving are literally people in crypto. And I was like, oh really? Have you been to any crypto conference, or have you like using? Nope, not really. Like anyone around you, like your family or friend, been to any one of them? Nope, not really. I was like, okay. So our actual contribution to the local society is basically paying for the Airbnb, renting the space, and also like paying the Uber. Basically the same. I think the main importance is that we were really I think it's a bit arrogant, to be honest, like for us to sometimes think we're building the future of humanity, but who are the people, or what's the humanity society that we're actually building for? And people don't talk about that, so it really sucks. But I think from now, from what I see this year in Ethereum ecosystem or blockchain in general, people will start considering about what is the application layer, what's the actual use case. Are we still in the like in the bubble, or are we actually trying to talk to people? Which is a good change. But right now it's just like people just talking about, oh, we care about people, or we care about application. But now let's see, maybe like hopefully we can have another conversation at 5 months, or maybe during Dev Connect. Do we actually see more applications happening? Are people putting the money where they say, and they actually support it? I'm actually really excited to see like what's going to happen in next few months. Yeah.
Just to add a little bit of that, because I really agree with that and I love it. I think one of the reasons why this is going on is also because we sometimes forget we are 15 years old as an industry, and we are in the teenager years of like, I don't want people to understand me. I want to be, this is so cool and I'm unique. And sometimes, I mean, we were like that when we were 15. This is normal, but like for every new idea, you need to, there's a moment that you need to like soften it a little bit and allow others to understand it. And it's very normal. It happens with every new trend. It's happened through history. So like, I think now with the development of the application layer, technology is going to stop being in the spotlight. And regardless if you're building in Scroll or in Starknode, whatever you're building, what you care about is what are you using this technology for. And we are starting to take that step forward. But I think it's, and that's going to allow for a broader adoption as well.
Yeah, and if we're really like this idealistic crew and we want to make a big impact to the world, it is going to require us to work with governments and work with existing governance structures. So I think, you know, we need to prove to these really large entities that this tech does move the needle forward in terms of, you know, freedom and prosperity and access to ownership of all these things that we're creating. Like we're supposed to be democratizing the ownership of like infrastructure. So, and again, I think that comes down to time and proving out that this stuff is battle tested and useful and actually more efficient than what exists. You know, so when you look at something like Ethereum, is there a point in time where, you know, nation states are running their own layer 2 blockchains on top of Ethereum and maybe issuing currencies directly on chain? I hope so. That's the future I'm building for. But we're still far away because a government is going to be the last entity that's going to enter innovation because they're the most risk-averse institution there is. And so, yeah.
North Korea is building their Ethereum treasury.
Great. Lovely. 30 seconds for each one of you to talk about what's on the horizon for your project.
So for us, we were super lucky that we've been invited and accepted to present in the World Expo. That's literally one of the largest events in the world. More than 30 million people are coming to Japan this year, and we are the only blockchain community that's going to present blockchain in the space. And we are super honored, and we're bringing a lot of speakers from blockchain to speak and to showcase even pop-up city community, and hopefully we can invite the topology to join and to present blockchain and everything development to the world, literally to the world.
Cool. So again, Switzerland, May 1st to 26th in the Swiss Alps. There will be 4 weeks of programming: privacy, ZK tech, Swiss economics and governance, network state design, decentralized science. We are onboarding co-curators right now, so if you're interested in influencing that programming, please apply as a curator. If you just want to attend, do that. Happy to share more about that if you come meet me afterwards. Yeah, come build with us.
And just to close it up, well, Argentina, as you know, for many people, it's actually, for crypto especially, is turning into one of the main focus of the year. We are building, aside from the pop-up city starting next week for all March, we're obviously planning a few more activations in August, and obviously for hopefully Dev Connect happening at the end of the year in Argentina with a big event there. Why are we doing all this? One of the reasons is we want Argentina to have a special economic zone for crypto to actually come down and settle there for a little bit.
Yeah, that's this panel. One more round of applause, please, for panelists. Thank you.